Very good morning, class. This is Salman, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Department, ISL Engineering College. So, I'm going to discuss Production and Operational Management second unit, which is work study. So, first of all, let us discuss what is work study, why we are discussing about work study, what is the importance of work study, how work study is going to be performed. So, what is work study is nothing but it is a study of all the activities which are going to be done when you are performing certain amount of job. For example, you are conducting a turning operation, you are conducting a product from raw material to the final product. So what are the set of tasks, what is the set of operations you are going to do? So if you are going to study in what way, in what procedure you are going to conduct that experiment or conducting that operation, that is called as work study. So a work study, so first of all, let's see the discussion, a definition of work study. So it is a generic term of those techniques that is nothing but method study and work measurement. So these two together are generally called as work study. So in which we are going to examine the human work and all its context. That is nothing but what are all the different tasks performed by either man or a machine in performing a set of operations like from a raw material to a finished product. So that investigation or that examination together is called as work study. In this, we divide the work study into two basic terminologies, that is nothing but method study and work measurement. In method study, what we are basically going to do is, so first of all, we will study the whole process. So we will see the process in which way the operation is going to be performed. So we'll study the operations which is presently being installed in the industry and what is the operation which we are going to be proposed. For example, if you are going through a set of operations like 1, 2, 3, and someone is proposing like you can go through a operation like 1, 3, 4. So among these two operations, which is most effective, we have to consider that. So in this, the main aim of us is to study only the procedure or the process through which the operations are going on. In work measurement, in generally, we look after the what are all the tasks, what are all the works we are going to do. For example, a human work, how a human is being transporting a part from a shop floor to a machine. Either it may be from a warehouse to shop floor or shop floor to machine, or loading of a job into a machine or unloading of a job into a from a machine. So these tasks, how the works are going to be performed, in that we will see how the work measurement is going to be done. So these are generally done in a systematic way so that we can improve the output. The main aim of this work study is to improve the productivity or to improve the output of our job. So let us see this. So in this work study, they have given, it has done by two methods, that is method study, next is work measurement. In general, work measurement again can be called as time study. In method study, the main aim is to simplify and develop an economic method. That's what I told. If there are 2 to 3 processes, for example, if you are coming to college, if you are doing some task, there will be n number of ways or n number of procedures of performing certain amount of tasks. Among those different tasks, what is the best method and what is the economic method? Because as a production engineer, your first aim should be to reduce the cost of the product as well as to improve the product, improve the quality of the product. Okay, so for that reason, what we have to do is we have to check the best method for maintaining the quality, and for reducing the cost you should see the economic method, which is the easiest method you have to take care. Whereas in time study, the basic aim is to reduce the time required for the production. So in this, what we are trying to do is, in work measurement, we need to reduce the unnecessary times, like ideal time or maintenance time, or like jobs which are unnecessary operations which are being done on the product. So these unnecessary works has to be reduced so that the product can be delivered to the customer on time or before the time of delivery, so that the customer can be satisfied with us. So So both of this leads to what? High productivity. If you do both these things, obviously it will produce a high productivity. So first see method of study. So it is a systematic recording or critical examination of the existing or proposed way. So in this, what we'll do is, first of all, we will record all the methods or all the steps involved in the method. Just I have told one example, one, two, three, four. So these steps or these procedure we will first identify. We will record all those things, and some new person is joining your organization, and he is saying, instead of following 1 2 3, you can go for 1 to 4, 4 to 6. So he is giving some new technique. So among this proposed technique and already existing technique, you have to look after which is a easier and effective method in both the ways, either to reduce the cost and as well as to improve the quality of the product. So our aim is to both improve the quality of the product as well as the reduce the cost of the product. Whereas in work measurement, it is a technique where a qualified employer, for example, if there is some person who has been working on a lathe machine, if you leave him to perform certain amount of job, if he is able to finish a job, to complete the job in 1 minute or 2 minutes or 10 minutes, so that standard time, that qualified worker's job will be considered as a landmark or as a benchmarking. So he will be considered as a benchmark. If a labor is taking more than that time, for example, if he is taking 12 minutes, that means the labor is less qualified. If he is able to perform it much better than the qualified employer, that means he is an expert in that work. So with basing to this, what we can do is we can even reduce the cost of the production, as well as we can give incentives to the worker. So if the worker is able to complete the task early, so industry can sell the product before the delivery date. So because of this, the company is getting benefit. So what company will do is, the company will give this benefit to a worker in terms of incentives, so that he can be appreciated in his work. Okay. So what is the work study procedure generally is, so whatever the process where we are going to perform the work study, in which part, either it is in terms of job, either in terms of men, or either in terms of machine, in which particular location you are going to study work, first we have to select that, and we have to record all the things which are involved in it. Okay, either it is a proposed method or it is existing method, both things should be recorded. And after recording them, we have to examine each and every part of the experiment or each and every part of the operation. And among this, basing on that, what are the loops you are finding, you need to develop a new type, or you need to develop, or you need to suggest a best method. And after developing a suggest best method, you have to measure that. For example, you have been studying like what we say, offline classes. Now we are trying to give you online classes. Among these two methods, in which way you are getting more advantage or more beneficial, that we have to measure. How we are going to measure it? We are going to measure it with respect to your internal test, or with respect to some other means. So we have to, whatever the new thing which you are going to develop, or which you are going to install in an industry, you have to measure that. So we will first measure that. After measuring, if it is okay, if it is satisfied, then we will define it to all the employers, so that the employer will be satisfied that, yeah, I can able to establish this, I can able to work in this. For example, while giving internal test on online, we have been first instructed you have to do this kind of operations, you have to do write the internal exam in this way, you have to upload the PDF files in this software. So we'll define few set of things, then we will install that, then we are going to install that in your industry. So once anything new thing is being installed in your industry, that has to be maintained properly. If you are not maintaining it, what is happening is, the employer, because of his affinity to the old process which he has been using from long period, will try to shift back to the old system. So we have to keep on maintaining the maintenance of that. So how the influence is happening of both method study and time study in terms of production activities, like in production activities, and thinking about manufacturing, how it is going to influence them, are either by doing the production control, either by reducing the time, that is nothing but engineering, either in terms of industrial relationship, either in terms of the control of the cost, either in terms of sales, that is production cost, can be reduced. So whether in terms of, if you say production control, in production control how we are going to control is, if you know what are the methods you are being followed and what are the unnecessary methods, and what is the best method among the proposed, or what are the new methods which are being installed, so that you can able to use the best method, so that you can reduce the production, or you can reduce the unnecessary activities in the production. For example, you are having, for example, there is a conveyor belt, or the AGV is there. AGV is coming and dropping the work pieces in front of a machine. And now what the labor is doing is, he is picking the machine by getting down, and he will trying to put the machine into the lathe. So during this operation, what he is going to do is, see is, so there is a lack of sitting down, picking up. So there is a different method. So where there is a time lagging is happening. So in this, what I can do is, I can arrange a conveyor belt in front of a labor, where the belt will be going in front of him, so that he can directly lift the object from the conveyor belt and directly put into it. So in this, what is happening is, the time reduction can be done, and the method can be easily done. So when he is keep on doing the repeated task, when he is getting down up, he will get fatigue, and he will lose his strength to do the work. Whereas in terms of engineering, so the time standards, okay, so with respect to the new technologies which are coming, so if you already know what are the methods which you are using, and what is the new engineering in this field. For example, we have been using a lathe for long period of time. Now if you see, the lathes are being developed. Initially there was a single lathe. Now we have come across caption lathe, turret lathe. Now even we have CNC lathe machines, where you can just give the codings and you can run n type of operations. So there is a new engineering is keep on coming. So with this, what we can do is, if you adopt this kind of new engineering technologies in your methodologies, so you can reduce the time standards. For previously, for working on a lathe machine, general lathe machine, it will take you 10 minutes. The same operation when you perform on a CNC lathe machine, it will take more or less 5 to 6 minutes. So we can save a 4 minutes of time. So in this way, in each and every methodology, how an engineering can be installed. Next is industrial relationships. So in this industrial relationship is, as I have even told, that when you are being to reduce the time, for example, the incentives given to the labor, or the motivations given to the labor, it will create a idea of that the labor will be satisfied, and he will be trying to do a more to the industry. He will be much attached to the industry, so that he will perform good work to the industry. So it will even help the labor as well as the industry to create that bond. Okay. Next, controllers. So in this, we can able to control the cost when the time is being reduced. For example, you take, previously the cost of each mobile was like around 20 to 25,000. Now it has reduced to 5 to 6,000. What is happening? You can take one more example of iPhone. Previously iPhones were the costliest, still it is costliest, but iPhone in the olden days, from 4S to 5S, you see there is almost a gap of 1 to 2 years. But whereas after that, what they have done, they have maintained their standard, even though they have controlled the times lap between the two products. Now they have been launching new products with a small changes, minute changes. They can able to control the time. How they are going to control the time? They have studied the methodology in which the product is going to be launched, and they are not even compromising with the standards, and even they are able to give the good products at a lesser time. Okay, so this is happening because of the study of methodology which they are using. In terms of sales, how it is going to help you in terms of sale is, when the products are keep on, for example, as a customer, if you are using an iPhone for around 1 year, so as a teenager you might have a uh, idea of changing your mobile for every 1 to 2 years. So if iPhone you are using, you are a lover of iPhone, you cannot change the product after 1 year previously, because the products are not launched. So the sales of the products will be slowed down, because we have might have studied about the product life cycle. In product life cycle, in every product life cycle, initial stage, there will be a loop, there will be a leap into the stage. That means at that point, what will happen is, it will take the peaks. After peaks, it will be able to, like this, I will draw a product life cycle here. So with respect to time, so every product will have this standard. Initially it will grow slowly. Once it takes some particular time, it will start rising, after that it will become constant. So this is becoming almost reaching all the members. After reaching all the members, what happens to the product is it will decline. All the products will have this cycle. This is called as PDCL, that is product life cycle. PLC, that is product life cycle we call it. Okay, for every product there will be this. So in initial stage the acceptance will be less from the customers. After it reaches the customers will be satisfied and the customers will keep on increasing. After certain period of time the customers will be much satisfied. So at that time the product, the what we say, this is with respect to time, this is with respect to production, you can say this is with respect to production. What happens, production will keep on increasing. After certain period of time it will reach the maximum life where the products are, we further need not to produce them because we know how much amount of product will be sold. So after certain period of time suddenly the product will be losing its appreciation from the customers because there will be a launch of new product with comparison of this. So first of all, if I launch of any product, there will be this product life cycle they will design. So once they will know this product will work for 1 to 2 years. So within 2 years the company has to come up with a new product. If they are not able to come up with a new product, the company will face some losses. For example, you can take BPCL TV. In olden days, BPL TV was one of the biggest TVs. If you still go and search in YouTube or somewhere, so BPL was one of the biggest industries in electronic field. So, but whereas because of lack of able to produce the good products within a short span of time, like HD products or like any other products in terms of electronics, so they are not able to give much more good products to the customers. So they vanish from the industry, and new products like Huawei, you can say Samsung, like Samsung or Redmi, they have established the good market in the industry because the customer expects a new product after a certain period of time. So when you know the methodology and the time span of each and every product, we can able to develop new methods and new technologies so that we can develop a good products for the customers. So from this, what we are learning is, first of all, for any product we have to understand the method which we are using for the production. So in work content, basically we will see basic work content and excess work content. What are the basic things we need to be done and what are the excess things which we are going to be done. So what are the excess things happening? For example, for a part to be performed, so what are the basic steps? For example, it can go from lathe to drilling to milling. So these are the basic steps. So there are some excess operations are also be happening in a work. So those excess operations will lead to which are the reasons for the excessive work, are either it may be the defects in the design. If there are some defects in the design, the labor will not be able to understand the design. Then what he will do, he will try to do excess work. Like if you have given a step turning operation, if he is able to understand the step turning operation at a time, he will do the step turning operation easily. If he is not able to do, then he will start doing first turning, then facing, then he will again go for step turning operation. So for any labor, first of all, to avoid the excess work, you have to explain the design him properly. If he is able to understand the design properly, then he can able to avoid the excess works. And next is ineffective methods of manufacture. Ineffective methods are nothing but, for example, I have told the new technologies are being coming into the industry. If you are still following the old methodologies, like if you are still using the normal lathe machines or conventional lathe machines, so your industry will able to face the drawback of producing the products in a less time. So the customer will not be satisfied with you because you would have told him to deliver the product in 10 days, whereas the delivery will be delayed because you are using the same methodology. The old machines will give you some amount of delay. Because of that, ineffective methodologies will lead you to the excess amount of work. Next is shortcomings of management. What is the shortcomings of management is nothing but the management will not be able to understand what you are going to say. If you have proposed the two methodologies, like I would have proposed to the management that, sir, we can go for the online classes as well as offline classes. So the management will not be satisfied with the offline classes or the online classes. So there will be a lack of understanding between the management and the labor, because of which we need to do excess work. Like for example, I'm giving you a small example now. Like I'm proposing that, sir, because of this COVID situation or pandemic situation, I will tell you to go for online classes, but I will tell that we can come to the online classes. So what they are going to do is, because of this, what is happening is the management will not be able to satisfy. So if you are calling to the offline classes, then I have to do that double work. So that is a shortcoming or understanding between the management and the labor. Next is workman attributes. So workman attributes is nothing but some workman, because of their seniority or because of their continuous working in the same organization, they will not be able to, what to say, they will not listen to the new upcoming technologies. Like there is a person who has been working on a lathe machine for around 10 years. If you suddenly bring that man into a CNC lathe machine, he will be shocked. He will not be able to use the same CNC machine, even though the machines are same. Because of that coding, he will not be able to work on that. So, because of this workman attributes, he will not be able to satisfy, which leads to excess work. Then, what is excess work in this is, how to explain the workman that you have to first give the codings, then you have to give the what is the steps like G codes, you have to give M codes, you have to give how the turning of tool is happening, how the machine is offing, if there is a coolant on, how you have to give the coolant on, everything I have to explain him. Then he will able to understand that. During this understanding, what there is happening is we need to do some excess amount of work. So for example, what is a manufacturing time? Generally a manufacturing time is nothing but basic operations. So these are much more needed for any part to happen. So for example, what I have told, drill mill, whatever it may be. So these are the basic operations. Without this there is no product. So that is a basic operation. Next is work added or work content added due to defects in the design. Like what is the amount of reworking? For example, you have given a chamfer or a step turning. Because of that, the labor is not able to understand how much time he is taking to understand the design and to work the work properly, to do the operation as per the design. So there will be some lag, so that time is considered as a time. And work content and ineffective methods. So what is the technology because of which the time delay is happening, consider that time as b. And next is ineffective methods of management is nothing but shortcoming. So this can be, again, this can be even considered okay, because if the design is not correct, that is the problem of the designer, or that is a problem with the manufacture, that is the problem with the person who's designing the product. But whereas it is not product problem, a much more problem. Because if any design you design, there will be a short less understanding between the design engineer and labor. We need to give some time so that he can able to understand. This is much more acceptable, whereas these two are not at all acceptable. That is the shortcoming of management or the control of the workers, ineffective time within the control of the workers. So this all generally together will be considering as a total time of operation, whereas this is the actual time, this is the ineffective time, this is unnecessary time lagging in the production or in the what we said, completion of the work. So if you understand these things, what we can do is, I can either reduce this or I can either reduce this. The most priority to reduce is, first of all, you have to reduce this. How you will reduce this ineffective time is, first of all, you have to make the management understand with this what we can going to achieve. With, if you remove this unnecessary time, what is the thing we can achieve, how we are going to get the profits, that we have to explain to the management. Next is time. For the workers, we have to make them explain that before we are going to install a new technology or giving them new instructions, we should give them some time before the work starts, so that they can able to overcome those difficulties. Okay. So, what is the main aim of method study is critical examination of facts. So, critical examination of facts is nothing but what are all the steps involved. So, first of all, we have to examine them. What are the things which we are going through? So, first year, second year, what are the possible things we are going through? And among these things, which is the best possible solution, we have to select that. There may be n number of paths from your home to college. There will be n number of routes. So for example, you open a Google map from your location to another location, the Google map will show you a number of paths, like 2 to 3 options. It will show what is the best possible solution for you, that is with respect to time or with respect to the traffic. So it depends from person to person. Some people will say, sir, I need to go in a short period of time, means you will choose a shortest path. Some people will see some local streets so that they can avoid the traffic, they can avoid the policemen. So there will be n number of facts in each and every method. Among this method, which is best possible solution for us, we have to consider that. And we have to, if you see all these things, then we can easily able to eliminate the unnecessary operations. What are the things which are unnecessary, we can remove them. And next, if in this unnecessary time, if we can able to add some value, like for example, if you take some watches. So if you take some watches, in some watches there will be only a dial which shows the time. In some watches there are some dials which shows seconds, which shows